What up, Bulls Nation? We've got a live CHGO Bulls podcast coming up for y'all right around the corner. On today's show, updates from today's practice, including what is going on with Kobe White and that calf strain. Will we see him in preseason? Will we hopefully see him by the season opener? Plus, Patrick Williams has looked alive in his first 3 preseason games. Could his name still actually be in the category of potential starter? Plus, whose stock is up and whose stock is down after their 3rd preseason game. We'll talk about all that next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck Bulls _Peck. That's Big Dave. Bam. Bam. BWL Sports. Will they go Gottlieb? Perfectly coiffed. Will _Gottlieb. King of the controls. Joey C. What up, Joe?
Joey C. Hello, gentlemen.
CHGO Bulls presented by the delicious taste of victory. Michelob Ultra. The delicious taste of victory deserves something equally superior. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra. And presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. All right, lots of fun stuff to talk about today. The Bulls are 3 preseason games down, 2 to go. They play in Denver against the Nuggies tomorrow night, and then round things out Thursday against, I want to say, Minnesota?
You would say correctly.
Okay, before we dive into Bull stuff, though, exciting news. We mentioned it on last night's postgame. We got closer, and it was, I believe, Joey, while you were just doing CHGO Cubs earlier this afternoon, we reached the 90,000 subscriber mark on our CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We've been zeroing in on this milestone for a while. Very excited to get there. Thank you to everybody who helped us get there by subscribing to our CHGO Sports YouTube channel. And we teased last night and promised y'all that when we made it to 90K, there were going to be some treats for everyone.
Oh, you
and
see
so
it.
During CHGO Bears coverage of Monday Night Football, right here on this very same CHGO Sports YouTube channel, they're going to make the announcement official when the sale goes live, but we will be doing a sale coinciding with this 90K milestone, 90K unlocked for people who've been thinking about Die Hard signups. Lowest price ever, just
$2 a month,
$27 for the first year of your Die Hard membership.
Wow,
lowest price ever.
Stealing from us.
And if you're thinking, well, I'm already a Die Hard, what the heck? What about me?
Yes,
don't worry, because existing Die Hards merch sale. 50% off everything.
Wow.
All CHGO merch. We got a bunch of awesome new CHGO Bears designs available at the merch locker right now.
Wow.
50% off for existing diehards. $27 first year sign up for those thinking about becoming a diehard. Tonight, when the Bears are playing that Monday Night Football, CHGO Bears is covering it. The sale drops. And it, I believe, is only going to run for 24 hours.
And you get a shirt with your subscription, right? So you're basically getting a shirt and a free year of all of our content for basically less than the cost of a shirt.
So yeah. Buy one, get one half off when it comes to the shirts, too. It's an incredible deal, man. Like you said, Joey, see, $2 a month.
I mean, 50% off 2 for 1.
Yeah, man. Like, that's about that. That's a deal, all right? That's the bottom line. That's a deal, ladies and gentlemen. Hop on that. Enjoy that. And thank you all for getting us to 90K. We are not here without y'all at all.
Hell yeah. What are we going to do when we hit 100?
Oh, we're going to lose it because the GOAT now want that plaque, baby.
I want that plaque,
we want that plaque. We want it.
Taking that Michelob Ultra to the top of that mountain, and we just pour one out.
We're going to be doing it up, baby. I can't wait. I can't wait for that, man. But, yeah, to get there, you got to get to 90 first. And we got there at 90. Let's go to 91. But thank y'all very much.
Appreciate everybody who has subscribed. Hit the like button. Speaking of things that we appreciate, not only subscribes, but hit that like button.
Hey.
Troll Joe is always lurking. I've heard that Joey C and Troll Joe, constant communication.
They might be cousins, from what I'm hearing.
Those first name cousins.
Yeah, first name cousins.
It's a rare kind, but
yeah, man. It's rarity. But Trojo is rare also. So massive.
So with that, let's dive into the updates we got from today's practice. Goat, what can you tell us about what you heard from Billy Donovan and the status of Coby White, who has not yet played in their first 3 preseason games? Seemed like maybe we were shooting to get him preseason action in their finale on Thursday, but now maybe that might not happen.
Yeah, sounding like that probably will not happen. Billy kind of offered it up before, not this past game, but I believe it was the one before that there was some optimism about Coby potentially playing. But I think with them going to Denver, having one day off before their next game, they didn't want to rush him into that. He has been doing more stuff in practice, more just movement, more running. And I think that basically there's 5 days off between the final preseason game and the first regular season game. They're going to use that time to do your favorite thing, ramp up, and get him ready to go, ideally and hopefully for the season opener. It sounds like he is basically now not really like in any pain. It's more just about like the getting ready to participate in, the conditioning and NBA level activity that he needs to be in for the regular season. So I think they're continuing to play it safe and probably thinking about this the right way, given what's at stake for both Coby and the Bulls this year.
Still in good spirits, though. Still feeling.
Yeah, we haven't really seen much of him. I know he's been around, but like he's not really in the locker room after games, obviously, because he's not playing. So haven't had a chance to talk with him. And usually they don't make players who are injured available to the media either. But we have seen him around. We have seen him. I think he was doing some shooting the other day. So he's obviously been around, and he knows the system. He's been very much involved in it. So I don't think it'll be too long of like an acclimation process. Right. And I was asking Billy about this last night a little bit. He was just saying like, really it's more about just getting him into game shape because he's been out since mid-August at this point. You can't just like drop a guy into an NBA game and expect him to play 30 minutes. There is a process there.
All right, go.
Fair enough. Also, now it sounds like Trey Jones might be dealing with something. What can you tell us about that?
Billy said like mid-foot sprain. We didn't clarify whether it was the same one as last year.
I was going to say, isn't that what cut his season short at the end of last year was a foot?
But he just said like he held him out of some stuff today and that he doesn't think it's a big deal.
Okay.
They don't do injury reports for preseason for whatever reason. So we won't know until tomorrow night if he's going to play. It would not surprise me if he does play. It also probably wouldn't surprise me if they just hold him out of precaution, but it does not seem like this is going to be a big thing. And same with Herter and Julian. I think they're still both day-to-day. It sounded like Julian was like in a little bit of worse shape than Herter. So
and Julian's dealing with what? I can't remember.
Julian knee, Herter groin.
Okay. So could be without all of them potentially tomorrow night against the Nuggets.
Potentially, but we'll see. I mean, I think a lot of them, it just like depends on how they feel after going through, walk through, and shoot around in the morning.
Okay, and one name you have not said yet, sir. I'm going to need to hear it from the GOAT, Yuki.
Yeah, we don't really know too much about what's going on with him. They said lower leg pain, and that's kind of all we know at this point.
Just lower leg pain. Okay. Yeah. It's a pain in my brain now.
I was going to say, you having whole body pain hearing this?
Yeah, man.
Right, a big deal?
Yeah, that general soreness is kicking up. Yeah, man.
What about Ayo got a cut in last night's game. He's fine?
Yeah, I think he's fine.
And what about poor Emmanuel Miller, who lost
he got
a tooth
knocked out.
Toothotomy.
Half of a tooth, I guess.
Ouch.
So I don't know what the situation with him is in terms of like getting that fixed, but I imagine he'll get a replacement in there and be good as new.
Okay, all right.
It's a physical game last night.
Yeah, man. It was, man. And that happened in the fourth when the game was pretty much wrapped up.
Bulls Bucks, man. Doesn't matter if it's preseason. Doesn't matter what era. The Giannis Dunleavy stuff.
Hey.
Then we had the Captain Dipshittery era when the Bulls and Bucks faced each other in the playoffs a few years back.
Yes, we did.
Physical stuff.
Earlier that year when he took Caruso out.
That's right. Took Caruso out. Broke his wrist.
Did.
Bobby and Zach got into it during the playoff series.
They sure did.
Yeah.
Yapping and yapping. Yeah, this is true.
They're good friends, though.
It's a thing.
So we'll obviously keep an eye on those updates to see who is in and who is out for their fourth game of the preseason tomorrow night. Hopefully all these minor injuries are okay. But obviously Coby White being the most important, considering that they're holding him out now, it sounds like, for the entire preseason. And will he be ready? A week from tomorrow night is their regular season opener against the Pistons. Will Coby be ready? Because we've been watching a Bulls starting unit and Bulls rotation through these 3 preseason games without Coby White, and we all know how much of an impact he can and usually does have on the floor. So how does that shift everything else around if they do get Kobe back?
Yeah, and I just want to see him out there because I feel like you can properly judge a team, as they're playing, in the preseason, but I would like to see the full brunt and experience the full weight of that starting five out there with Kobe White, because I know some certain deficiencies are happening because he's not there, and certain things can't be run because he's not there on both sides of the ball. And you just know his impact and kind of what it is. And you see it. And I think that plays into why we keep seeing the starters struggle, game after game after game in this preseason, because there's nobody who can just say, hey, give me the ball. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Let me get everything straight and everybody in line and just get these buckets for you. So, yeah, man, I just want to see how it works with him because he's going to be vitally important to this team this year.
And also the rotations, right? I mean, we still don't have any clear answer of, how these full rotations are going to go.
Yeah.
Billy's been sort of adamant that they're going to probably do 10 at most. Obviously, guys will be hurt, and that will allow opportunity for other guys to be introduced into the lineup. But, they have 4 rotation guards, and, Herter is kind of in that mix there. He's probably going to play some 3. Okoro's obviously in that mix there. He's going to play some 3.
Right.
But, we don't know how – I mean, Trey started last night. Is he going to play similar caliber of minutes? What does that mean for Io's minutes? Is he going to get pushed down? With Kobe back, with Giddey, with Io, with Trey, with Herter, Okoro – and then not to mention the way that Patrick's been playing, I think he's earning himself a spot in the rotation. You want to see as much of Modest as you can. Noah played well. He got some minutes in the first half. There's just so many bodies on this team and only so many minutes that they can play. So I'm very curious to see how, because sometimes when somebody's out, you don't just do next man up. You do a different player who might not be in the rotation to compensate for some of those skill sets, right?
Yeah.
And so if for example, Modest is out, maybe it wouldn't just be Patrick stepping into the rotation because you want to keep him in his role. Maybe it's, Dalen or Julian gets in because you want that athleticism or, whatever it may be. That's just a random example.
Yeah.
But I think it's just interesting to think about how those things will shape the larger rotation questions and what these minutes will look like for guys.
Yeah.
Our guy Fish in the chat saying, let Kobe heal. We need him at 100%. And the Believer saying, unfortunately, I see Kobe as a guy that needs a couple of games to be himself. I expect him to be rusty.
It's fair.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. We've seen Kobe White get into these not just grooves, but insanely hot streaks. Shout out Eastern Conference Player of the Month in March of last season.
Yeah.
And then we also see the lulls from Kobe White. And also we've talked about how his role changing on a team can have an impact on his efficacy on the floor, feeling comfortable in what he is being asked to do every night.
Yeah.
And then, but again, it's unfortunate that he hasn't been able to not only play in these preseason games, but just be involved in these training camp practice runs of 5-on-5.
Yes, man.
And okay, here's what we're trying to do. Here's what we're focusing on, says Billy Donovan. We want to play fast, maybe even a little faster than last year, protect the basketball, and here's how we want to find our shots. Kobe White not being involved in that is tough, and I would expect to see some sort of, transition period of actual games that count that Kobe now has to use to find that groove for himself.
And also, I want to see where his mentality is because, again, this is the final year, and he's looking for that big money. We see the mentality that Ayo Dosunmu has come in with, and we see how he's playing. Is Kobe going to be on that same kind of wavelength? Because I think you're right, and that's why I said it's very fair. Shout out to the Bullever, excuse me, sir. When you say that Kobe might be rusty and you expect him to get a couple games, sure. But knowing what he's playing for now it makes me think, okay, is he going to come in rusty? Or he might come in ready to go. Dude, give me the basketball. I'm trying to ball out because I know exactly I'm trying to set up my future, especially financially. I'm trying to set it up. So I have to be on point, and it's got to start immediately when I hit the floor. There can't really be too many lulls for main man Alec Jacoby White this season because of what he's playing for. Not only trying to get this team, to playoff success, but also trying to get those pockets right.
And also having said that too as well really quickly is isn't the calf strain now the new ACL of the NBA, right? You got to be really, really careful of the calf strain because it leads to obviously the Achilles. Yep. And the last thing Kobe White needs for his career or the Chicago Bulls is that lingering or creating some other bigger issue.
Which is exactly why.
Put that evil on me, Joey.
No, Bobby. I know, but but then for Bulls fans though, we have to be extra.
It's true.
It's okay being extra cautious
and
with that.
That's why they're playing it so cautiously.
Kobe was asked about it at Media Day, didn't he? Was it Sam Smith who asked him just like point blank, like, so you got this calf strain now. What about the torn Achilles that everybody's dealing with? Like, Sam, abort.
And that's why they're playing it cautiously. But I also think that, we don't know what the minutes limit will be, but it does seem like there's going to be some sort of limit on him, not because he's like hurt or whatever, but just to make sure that he's easing in.
Right. Okay, let's knock out our first ad break right there. When we come back on the other side, you did also hear from Josh Giddey after today's practice. So go can update us on what Giddey had to say after his best preseason game last night. And then we'll dive into Patrick Williams, who's looking good. Lee! That plus whose stock is up and down, all still ahead. Hit the like. Make sure you're subscribed. Here's some ads.
Come on. Bears, Monday night.
Bears.
It's happening tonight. So when you get home and you sit on down, then you think, before I sit down, let me hit my fridge because something frosty and awesome is in there. You know what's going to be in there? Some of that Michelob Ultra. Ready to go. Frosty cold and good for you and your taste buds because once it hits your lips, experience the awesome flavor of Michelob Ultra. The delicious taste of victory deserves something equally superior. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra. 2.6 carbs and 95 calories for this calorie counting guy over here. It's a superior smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra is the official American beer sponsor of the beloved Chicago Bulls. The superior game meets superior taste. Grab a Michelob Ultra superior light beer as you cheer on your team because no matter what you're playing for, make it superior with Michelob Ultra.
Speaking of frosty beverages, today's show is also brought to you by RC Cola.
See.
Hear that?
Get it done.
Let's be real for a second. The world's gone soft. Everybody gets a participation trophy. The Bulls pat themselves on the back for going to the play-in tournament and losing. No more! RC is just damn good cola.
It is.
It's not a soft drink.
Nope.
It's just damn good cola. It's the original cola that doesn't fold under pressure. RC is an OG cola in a world of spineless soft drinks. No trends, no gimmicks, no glow up. It hasn't changed its stripes since 1905. You know why? Because it doesn't have to. Because it's delicious. It's the same bold, crisp flavor it's always been. RC Cola tastes like a punch and you thirst. So do yourself a favor. Grab yourself a 12-pack of RC Cola the next time you're at the grocery and thinking, I want some delicious cola to watch the Bears game, to watch the Bulls game, to watch the Hawks game. Stock up for all of your fall parties, back-to-school celebrations, and watching the game. RC is the move for whatever you're doing. And we back. CHGO Bulls rolling along on Monday afternoon, just a few hours away from kickoff of the Bears Monday Night Football. We're talking hoops, though. Bulls took their first L of the preseason last night to the Bucks, but there was still a lot of good. Speaking of good that we saw last night, hands down, the best minutes we've seen from Josh Giddey in the preseason
hands down.
Happened last night.
For sure.
He put up a classic Giddey stat line, 14, 8, and 7 in just 24 minutes on the floor.
Yeah.
You guys had a chance to talk to him after today's practice. Did he sound and seem confident and knowing that, like, hey, he put out his best showing last night? What did he have to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just a guy that, like, really – when he feels good, when he feels confident in himself, when he feels like comfortable in his role, that's when you're going to see the best version. And I think this game in particular, obviously, like, he comes into this season knowing he's kind of the man now. He's the highest paid player on the team. He's the starting point guard. He's the one they just gave the big contract to. Sure. He's not like second guessing how he fits with Zach LaVine as he was last year when, he got traded over. So I think you come in with a more of a baseline level of like confidence in who you are and your role on this team. And then on top of it, he was not really with the team during training camp as the contract stuff was working itself out. So he's like kind of getting into a point where he's like had more reps now. He's gone through obviously like all of training camp. I think he's starting to get himself into, not to say that he was like out of shape or anything, but like I think he's like really hitting his stride in terms of being in game shape. And so that helped too. But the one thing that I noticed and really appreciated about the game was that it was 7 assists and 0 turnovers. And how many times have we talked about the possession battle and trying to close the margins so that the Bulls have the best chance possible to win and compensate for the fact that they don't have the superior player, right? Like they don't have Giannis. So how do? They have to play with depth and they have to take care of the ball. They have the offensive rebound. They have to create extra possessions for themselves. And so he was kind of talking about just taking care of the ball and the importance that they're putting on that, and how, similar to what I was saying about his confidence level, like allowing him to play at a more consistent, higher level. I think that's true with the turnovers too. Like sometimes those can kind of spiral out of control. And he was saying like the Cavs guard you in a different way where they're switching everything, keeping you in front. And so that forces him to have to be a little bit more creative and daring with his passes. But last night he was really able to get into the paint a little bit more and make some of those plays. So that's the Giddey that I think the Bulls really need. And look, 10 turnovers, like that's a number that they would take every night.
Yeah, there were two things that really stood out for me about Josh. One, he wasn't forcing it. We saw him in his past 2 games, whether it was frustration or whether he just felt like they needed someone to go try to score. We saw him just force things. And anytime he started to force it, it was either a turnover or a terrible looking shot. And that's why he kind of struggled in those first 2. In this one, he kind of let the game come to him, and he knew when to attack. And I thought it was better, especially in that third quarter for him, especially scoring-wise, and how he was scoring. It wasn't a put my head down, go into the bucket, see what happens. He was very strategic in what he was doing, especially how he drew fouls as well. During that rip-through for that three-point shot, I thought was great. And he had another one on the other end of the floor where he up-faked the guy and got him in the air, and he got that foul that way. Like, I was really impressed with him on that. The second thing I thought was he didn't have the ball in his hands a ton like I saw in these past 2 games. In this one, he was more off ball. And I feel like Giddey, when he's off ball like that, he becomes comfortable and definitely becomes more of that facilitator that he is, because I think he's more of a connector than he is, like, we're talking like a pure point guard kind of thing. He feels more of a connector guy. Like, I'm going to get everybody where they needs to be. I don't really need the ball to do my thing, but if you give it to me, I'm going to make something happen really cool. But I'd rather be that connector, that gets that ball moving with everybody. And it feels like once he gets that going, then his offense kind of comes after that.
Yeah, and Billy was talking about this too, and it's something that we've picked up on over the course of these games, is like he started Trey with Giddey. He started like multiple guards together and pretty much played 2 point guards on the court at any given time. And we asked him about it, and he was just saying, like, if there's any time where there's pressure in the front court, bring the ball up, like that slows us down. That now we're in the half court offense. We're starting our offense with, 15, 16, 17 on the shot clock. Yeah. And that's like, they're not at their best in those situations. So if you have 2 point guards out there, Giddey gets, picked up full court, he can just hit it ahead to Trey. Trey can get the ball to the court quickly and get them into their sets. Yeah. And I think that really helps just like keep them out. It's not so much that it like puts them in situations where they are able to like create super efficient offense. It just keeps them out of the bad situations where they are getting bogged down. And so I think that's a huge thing. Like, to me, that's a question that I still have about Giddey, is like, how can he play off of other point guards when he is going to have to be a little bit more of a floor spacer, and that's something he's going to have to work on. I think he hit a 3 or a couple of threes last night. Yeah. 1 of 3. And so that's just going to need to be a part of his game as he sort of adapts, because I agree, like, if you just have to rely on Giddey, especially when you have, like, again, Modest, Vooch, maybe it's Herter out there. Like, Kobe obviously will be that second ball handler in those lineups, but like, there's not a lot of guys that you can just like give the ball to and they will set up and run the offense. And so I think it really benefits him, even though it may seem counterintuitive because now he's playing off ball. I do think it benefits him to have another guard next to him so that he is not carrying that entire burden.
And I think the numbers last year backed it up with him and Trey Jones, with how well that kind of worked out together. Because I think you're absolutely right. Like, having him out there with an Io or having him with a Kobe, those guys aren't going to be setting up those offenses like that. He's better when somebody is handling that for him, and then he could just connect and then use his superpower also, getting to the paint and trying to, cause havoc and get those rebounds as well. So it's worked well with Trey Jones. We'll see how it continues.
Yeah, Trey's been great.
Yeah.
Another person who really shined last night was Patrick Williams. Off the bench, he was second in the Bulls bench minutes department, 23, second only to Io's 25. Scored 10 points. You just mentioned the Bulls struggling behind the three-point line last night, Goat. Pat knocked down 2 of his 3. Way to go, buddy. He also grabbed 8 rebounds.
That's my favorite stat.
You heard me. 8.
8 of them things.
What? That's like a month's worth of Patrick Williams rebounds last season.
That's his number, 44.
And the 5 dimes, he did have 4 turnovers. Go, you asked Billy last night after in his postgame presser about what he's been seeing from Pat and his role moving forward. And I thought that this particular part of his answer was very fascinating. Joey, if you want to cue that up.
What we're basically talking about is consistency. right? And that's what happens sometimes inside of our team, is play can be inconsistent. Now, what you want to do is have the identity be consistent, but individual players' play can be sometimes inconsistent, So I thought Patrick was aggressive. He did some good things. There was a couple careless passes I know he would have liked to have had back. I thought he was aggressive going to the basket, trying to finish. He was a good matchup at times against Giannis. I felt like he tried to go to the glass, right? So to me, as a coach, when you sit there working with these guys, certainly you try to help them with their skill set, but as Casey and I were talking before the game, the skill set is purely based on the fact of making split-second decisions and reads on what's going on in the game. But there are things that he can control, in my opinion, on every possession. Like he can get to the glass, he can get out in transition, and he can do that. But the other parts of that, sometimes that's where when you got a young team, there's going to be these ups and downs and waves of development and growth out of these guys. And that's kind of, I've seen growth in Patrick, and I thought, like tonight, he played well. I know that the turnovers, I didn't like. There was a couple of them I thought were a little bit careless that I think he even knew that he made a mistake on. But he was around the basket offensively. He was on the glass defensively. He was guarding. He did a good job. I thought the threes that he took that were there, he took them. So I thought he did a really good job tonight, and the thing you want to do is try to stack games together. I've always said the best players in this league, if you take 10 game increments, there's like 1 game out of 10 they don't play well, and that's, when you're looking at players, that's what they're all striving to be, is the more consistent part of it. And that's what we're working for Patrick on. So like as it relates to his rotation or his minutes and things like that, a lot of it's going to be how consistent he's playing in the game. If he's playing really, really well, certainly you want to go out there and play. But if it's like it's not going well for that reason for anybody, we may have to go with somebody else at some times, and at times on the bench you're quite honestly guessing, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
So that was Billy after last night's game, trying to answer the age-old conundrum of what is Patrick Williams. Drew is in the chat saying, do it in the regular season, Lee Patrick. Scampy saying he's been really decisive with his passes. Mark's saying, I think Pat's best suited coming off the bench, too. There's too much scoring in the starting lineup. Him and Io will make all the other role players' jobs easier. So... what did you make of that answer from Billy Goat? Because I thought Billy Goat. Because I think it wasn't like, I wouldn't say brutal honesty, but just like objectively, like, hey, here's a situation.
Yeah, he's always been very matter of fact in the way that he talks, especially about Patrick. Like he has been hard on him even in the media, and it's not like a personal attack. Like I think one of the things that I always try to remember about these guys is like, when you go through film, like they are pointing out every single thing that happens at every single mistake, body positioning, timing, like whatever it is, like they are capable of handling that kind of constructive feedback.
Sure.
When it becomes personal, that's where I think guys take an issue.
Correct.
But like, there's nothing personal about that. To me, it's like the stuff that Billy was talking about, it's like 2 separate buckets, right? And he mentioned there's like stuff that he can do within the game of like driving, attacking the glass, cutting, like that's stuff that Patrick was not doing last year.
Yeah.
But he was doing it last night. He has been doing it over the course of the preseason. And that's the stuff that's like, okay, there is a floor there if he can just do that. Why couldn't he do that at times last year? I don't know. We talked about it last night in terms of like his trust in his body and his health and stuff. He didn't want to give that excuse, but like that's sort of my analysis of what he was saying. But to me, like that's got to be the floor. There cannot be games where he doesn't do that. And that's a consistency piece that Billy's been talking about for the last 5 years. On top of that, there's some of the other stuff in terms of like decision-making, reads, split-second stuff, flow of the offense, attacking closeouts. That's stuff where I think Patrick is still, for whatever reason, like not great at reading those moments. And to be fair, it's a really hard thing to do. Like it's making split-second decisions when there's a 7-foot dude who's super fast closing out at you. And he likes to survey the floor. I think this style of play is like maybe not in his like natural wheelhouse of how he would want to play. And so I think at times that's where you can see him doing a little bit too much, where he's, putting the ball on the ground a few too many times, or he gets into a situation where he turns it over. He had an offensive foul on a screen last night. Like those moments happen. But for me, like I'd much rather see those moments, even if it's like a bad mistake, than be like scratching your head trying to wonder why he can't put his impact on the game. I think you have to take the good with the bad. It's the same with Josh Giddey. I mean, I'm thinking about Billy Donovan point guards. It's like the same conversation that people had with Russell Westbrook for years when he was winning an MVP. It was like, yeah, well, he's going to turn it over a lot. Yeah, well, he's going to do this and that. It's like you got to take the good with the bad when it comes to these guys. Yeah. And I think if you can just be okay with Patrick not being a perfect player, but at least continuing to build and get better, I think it will work well for him. And I've just been excited to see him put some good games together. As Billy said, it's about stacking them and doing consistently. And if he can do that, I do think he'll carve out a role, but I'm also not like, there's no illusions about the fact that, he's probably not going to have a great game every night, or there are going to be games where he doesn't do some of those small things, because he didn't for the past couple of years when he had the opportunity.
Facts, man.
Believer in the chat saying, I need to see 3 months worth of stacked games to trust P. Will. Hopefully he can do it. That kind of makes me think of that other remark Billy said about players in like 10-game stacks. When he was talking about Pat, and I'm like, good players, they'll have a bad game in a stretch of 10 games. And it's like, can Pat get something closer to resembling that, as opposed to like, hey, this one game in a stretch of 10, Pat showed up. Fine Day saying, man, Will's hair is goated today. Also accurate.
Oh, killing him.
Bobby Speaks
I concur.
saying, I'm still not into Okoro starting. And so, again, like, there's perhaps this big question still lingering of like, who's going to be this team's 5th starter? And could Pat actually sneak back into that conversation where we all thought coming into this, which bench role are you, right? Let's knock out our second ad break right there. When we come back on the other side, we can wrap up this Pat chat and then dive into our who's up and who's down Bull and Bear markets after preseason game number 3. Hit the like button while you listen to some ads.
Shout out to y'all, man. It's getting chilly. It's getting to the big man summer out there, ladies and gentlemen. That means hoodies and shorts are going to be in full effect. Shout out to all the big fellas out there who are already hot all the time. But you're still going to need your furnace together. You're still going to need your plumbing right. And the summertime will be here before you know it, so your cooling's got to be good too. You're going to need 4 Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. That's what they do, y'all. All awesome things. You can save up to $4,000 on furnace and comfort systems with 4 Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Furnaces start at $39 a month, and furnace AC start at $57 a month. Call today and save $50 from your trusted local experts. They are 4 Seasons heating, cooling, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Visit 4seasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's 4seasonsheatingcooling.com. Because for all the right reasons, back.
Call 866-4 Seasons.
Ooh,
Today's show also brought to you by Bet365.
365.
Get your bets in for Monday Night Football. Breaking news for Bet365. Football's here. That means when you sign up as a new customer and use promo code CHGO365, you can get $200 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet.
Amazing.
Make it on tonight's game. We got 2 Monday Night Football games. That's awesome. Make a $5 bet, and you'll see $200 in bonus bets hit your account. Whether that bet wins or loses doesn't matter. Plus, throughout football season, Thursday Night Football, $10 safety net bets. Sunday Night Football, there's a $365,000 jackpot going on. Get in on that. And tonight, Monday Night Football, 50% super profit boost token on same game parlays. You can double your winnings on parlays with Bet365's 100% parlay boost. So what are you waiting for? Download the Bet365 app. Use that promo code CHGO365 when you sign up to get that $200 in bonus bets. Must be 21 if you or someone you know has a gambling problem. Crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only. And we're back. CHGO Bulls run along Monday afternoon. Peck, Big Dave, Goat, Joey on the controls, and you, our fellow members of Bulls Nation in the chat. Like, this is what I love about Pat. Like, Bulls fans always have strong opinions.
Yeah.
Wherever they are on believing in Pat. Like, shout out to our guy Rob, who I think I saw him post-game last night saying, like, I'm not selling of my real estate, any of my real estate on Pat Island. I'm still here.
Yeah, man.
There's no real estate for sale. You all left. Sei Ojanubi in the chat saying, if Pat moves without the basketball, I can almost guarantee you he could get easy points because he got 2 point guards that'll willingly pass the ball.
Yeah.
Believer, simply put, the type of consistency I need to see from Patrick is effort. Mark saying every night Pat is one of the biggest and most athletic players on the court against opposing teams. There's no reason he shouldn't be running the floor and attacking the basket. And, you know, Billy did mention, he had some turnovers that he probably wants back in that game last night specifically.
Yeah.
But we also have just seen him be a lot more decisive in these 3 preseason games, Dave.
Yeah.
Making the reads, letting the game come to him. And then also, like, being proactive in, you know, finding those moments to be aggressive, whether it's taking an open shot, making a good off-ball cut for that strong finish he had last night, or crashing the boards.
Yeah, I mean, be aggressive, be aggressive. I love when Billy Donovan and I are on the same page. Because as I said last night on the show, thank you all for watching. Make sure you're checking out our instant reactions that we are writing on ALLCHGO.com for free. Check them out. But as I was saying to you, the main thing I was writing in there about Patrick Williams, I used the word consistency about 700,000 times.
That's the same word that Billy chose.
Yeah, and I wrote it in bold every single time I said it because that's all I was really happy about watching him. It's been a consistent thing. It's been game after game after game. And he's putting together good games. Of course, I want to see more. We understand it's preseason. We get all of that. But the bar we were dealing with was very low. And the fact that he is just jumping over that bar was exciting to me because he's doing it consistently. So, yes, the outside shooting being consistent in that. Yes, him being physical and being consistent in that. Yes, him boxing out and getting rebounds. That is awesome stuff. Like the one thing Goat mentioned from him last night was the fact he boxed out on a rebound, and that was just like an awesome play to see him do because it's something we haven't really seen him do consistently. And it's just really good to see him do those kind of things for this team because there's still, as I said, man, there's a Patrick Williams-sized hole, and I'm hoping Lee Patrick can fill it. They still need him. They still need to do the things that he can do. Now, he struggled with the dribbling. I remember when he got the ball, tried to bring it up, and he went behind his back, and the guy just stood there like, no. Not going to happen today, sir. I will take that from you. That's fine. I'm okay with him making mistakes on the side of being aggressive. It was when he was making mistakes on the side of not being aggressive when I was losing my mind because I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Just standing there, and you're turning over, and you're stepping out of bounds? Now that's extra anger that people are going to have like myself. But Lee Patrick has been a revelation, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to watch him ascend. I'm going to get the bat signal together so I can call out for Lee Patrick this season because they're going to need him and his skill set. So as long as the rebounding continues, as long as the solid three-point shooting continues, and the consistent physical play continues, you got yourself a stew going.
And I think also, like, we were talking about the extra ball handler stuff, like, I do think Patrick kind of has more of that in his game. I know, there are some bad turnovers in there too, but I do think he has more of that in his game than maybe some of the other wing options that the Bulls have. And so there was a sequence last night. It wasn't the last lineup that they went to in the second quarter, but the one before that, where, we talked about having multiple guards out there. That was the one time in the first half where Billy did not have a second point guard out there. And it was because Modest ran 2 possessions of pick and roll and Patrick did. And so just putting those guys in situations where they can sort of create some of their own offense, I think is good growing experience and opportunity for them. But like the idea of Patrick starting or like winning out that bat, like I'm not ready to go there yet because I do think that like in that starting lineup, especially, you want to have guys that really maximize around Giddey. So you want to have quick decision makers. You want to have 3-point shooters that are really, going to be shot ready, waiting to get shots up, and guys that are just like going to move quickly in the flow of their offense. I think what works to me about Patrick coming in the second lineup is that he can come in with Io, and the two of them can kind of share some of those duties. Maybe Giddey stays in or Trey stays in, or maybe when Kobe comes back, those kind of mix up a little bit. But it just allows him to touch the ball a little bit more, make decisions without necessarily taking away from Giddey, because I do think he's still kind of like the centerpiece of the starting group. Yeah,
and this again is hypothetical, best case scenario kind of thing that you're stating, but that's what we want and that's what we need from him. Because right now, I still have him in that tier, Matt, that we talked about yesterday. I still have him as a guy competing for those minutes with a Dalen, with a Julian, with a Essengay, with a Jalen Smith. Right. He's got to earn his way out of that, but this is how you start earning your way out of those things.
Yeah, and he even was like the 7th man in the last 2 games. The first game, he was 11th or 12th.
Right, yeah.
And obviously that's been without Kobe. Obviously, Julian and Herter have been out the last couple games in addition to Kobe, but like he is moving up, and I think that speaks to the trust that he is building. Again, it's going to take more than 2 preseason games. I'm not missing that point.
Yeah.
But I think that like this is good. Just, to steal the Bears thing, like brick by brick, you like got to build it up. You got to start somewhere.
We don't need any brags in the CHGO Bulls talk. JK, brag's the best. Shout out to our CHGO Bears crew. They're getting ready to do pregame over at Morgan's on Fulton. right up the street.
Bears.
But yeah, like the thing with Pat and those minutes, like last night, Billy said before last night's game, I'm probably going to go a little bit deeper into this game, treating it as if it were a game that counted as far as my rotation goes. So the starters played all 20-plus minutes, and then, as I mentioned earlier, Io played 25 off the bench. Pat played 23 off the bench.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, everybody ended up getting in towards the end in the fourth quarter and some junk time minutes. Javon got up 17 shots, bless his heart. But, like, it seemed like Pat was the guy off the bench that Billy trusted the second most behind Io last night, which is a very big shift from where we were coming into this season.
That's a big deal. Yes, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yuta in the chat saying, I feel like Modest is being a good influence on P-Will. At least if I were him, I'd see Modest and think I need to step it up.
I think it's Noah, too. Like, Noah played really well last night, and now it's Julian's in there, Dalen's in there, Modest is in there. Like, it's a lot of wings that he's now had.
Wings, baby.
So we'll see. I think I'm with both of you when you said not ready to include Pat in the battle for the fifth and final starting spot because of 3 preseason games.
Not yet.
Like I think he did so much damage losing trust from Billy and his teammates that he needs to show more before getting that back.
Oh, without a doubt he does. But this is the step. Like, these are the steps he has to take. And with what we're seeing from, some of the wings, it's not like anybody is outright leading right now. So he's playing he's doing the right thing. Like, this is the way you're supposed to do it.
Herter is hurt. Okoro hasn't looked great. So Billy could be thinking, Pat at the 3.
How's it right now?
Like, Billy has said this a couple times too. And, like, I feel like it's a hard thing for more casual fans to evaluate of like the defensive side. And I think he does provide something that, there's not a lot of on this Bulls team in terms of being able to defend bigger, especially bigger players like Giannis. So he came in and I thought did a good job of that. But like when Billy, I guess I'll say it this way, like because Billy is willing to say the things that he said in terms of like Pat being consistent and not playing up to his standard and like being very honest and forthcoming about what the drawbacks are in his game or what the inconsistencies are. I also trust Billy when he says like Patrick does a really good job for us defensively. Like when Billy says that stuff, like that matters to me.
Right. Yeah, he mentioned him teeing up Giannis in his post-game thoughts.
He said that a couple times. We've been asking him a lot of Patrick questions recently, and he's been very adamant that like Patrick is one of the better defenders on this team. He helps us in ways that other guys can't. Like he does add value in that way. And I think a lot of times people get caught up in like steals, blocks, rebounds. And I think he does a little bit. And again, he's not perfect. He's like going to get beat from time to time, especially against quicker players. But like, I do think that he is pretty solid on that end. And that gives him, all to say, that gives him a floor of confidence that Billy has in him where he is going to have opportunities.
Yeah.
So before we move on to our bull and bear markets, if we want, Joey, do you have those Pat stats we can just take a look at to round out the convo about Pat? So again, it's not like these are eye-popping. It's fairly modest. Just shy of 10 points a game. That's right around where Pat has been every season of his NBA career. Just shy of 10 or just above 10 points per game. Boards, that number is higher.
That's the one.
Hey.
Come on.
He's doing some playmaking. And, I mean, then look at the efficiency.
Yeah.
Dave, like I can't remember. Maybe our grades or sometime early in the offseason that I went and actually looked at Pat's shooting splits from this past season. And I was like, oh, dear God, this young man failed to hit 40 from the field.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. The fact he was in the 30s from the field.
That's a player with the yips. That's a player who's lost any and all confidence in all facets of their game. Like, how do you not shoot 40% as a dude who's 6'8"?
Yeah. Yeah, it's right there. That lets you know that the type of season.
And also has proven to be a 40% caliber three-point shooter.
Yeah.
How do you not shoot 40 from the field?
It was confusing.
Because you brick all your dunk attempts. That's it.
Oh, don't remind me. But he didn't last night.
Flushed it down last night.
Flushed it down. One-handed.
Went down real smooth.
Oh, sweating from the shoulders, baby.
That's another thing I want to see from Pat this season.
Sweat?
100% conversion rate on dunk attempts.
I was going to say 100%.
I know it's a big ask.
I can't wait to make that graphic. that 100 dunks, 100%.
Start working on that one now, Joe. There's going to be Pat dunks all over the place.
That's a lot of numbers in a row, guys. I'm going to do the best I can.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're 3 preseason games in. We did this after game 1 of the preseason. We're going to do it again today. Bull and bear market, who's up, who's down. Let's start with who's up. Always start with the good news.
Yeah.
And we omitted him after game 1 because we had a whole separate conversation about him and how good he looked.
Correct.
He kind of just floated through game 2, nothing outstanding. Their second game against the Cavs. But again last night, Modest Buzelis put his imprint on this game.
Yes.
The way that this dude is receiving passes, playing from off the ball, and then gliding into and strongly striding into dangerous places on the floor, getting into the paint, getting those paint touches, whether it's coming crashing down the middle from the baselines, and then knocking down shots confidently, getting to the rim quickly and aggressively, getting to the free throw line, up. Dave, your awesome short, and shout out to Steven, who I think made it.
Yes,
and that was after game 1 of the preseason.
Right.
Now we've seen 2 of the 3 games where Modest just looks like a guy who all of us who have stock in him being a star player in this league someday, and hopefully someday soon.
Yeah.
He is giving us all the reasons in the world to continue believing that.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, and like I said, I'm a sicko. I went back and looked at some of the game. And during my recap of it, I further feel that I'm correct, and Will Gottlieb, as usual, is 100% wrong in saying that was his best game. And the reason again, it was what he was doing to Giannis. Giannis looked confused that somebody was actually doing stuff against him on the Chicago Bulls. It was like, he was like, wait, what? I'm confused. Wait, what? He was blowing by him. Players were being run, and great passes were being dropped off to him by Josh Giddey, where you see Giannis is at the free throw line extended trying to play defense and stop Josh Giddey from getting to the bucket and completely forgetting about Modest. And Modest was blowing by him, getting those layups, man. It was one that he went up where I thought he was about to yam on him, and he turned it into a layup.
Little finger roll.
Yeah, just turned it into a pearl. When you seen that happen to Giannis from this team, from a guy? So we've got a guy with that kind of size that he has to worry about, concern himself with offensively. And it was just amazing to see how effortless it was. It didn't look like he was thinking. It was just reactionary out there. So doing it against the league's best, and I don't care, preseason, whatever, it could have been on the blacktop, bro, and I still would have felt the same way. No, when you're doing it against the best out there, that stuff matters to me when I see that happening, man. And I think it matters to Modest as well. And he understood who he was going against. So, yeah, man, you're right. That stock is rising. It's exploding. It's up there. And hopefully it stays up there.
Absolutely. I mean, I said it last night. I thought he played incredible. I thought his
I'm just playing.
His whole preseason has been really good.
Yeah.
And I think he just needs to keep doing more of what he's doing. He's getting shots easily in the flow of offense, and he's just making plays. I just think it's just building on that. To me, that's really, it's as simple as that for Modest. If he can just do what he's doing, do it more consistently, more just decisively, and more certain about his decisions that he needs to make, I think he's just going to keep doing exactly this and keep getting better.
Modest's stock is GameStop in 2020, baby.
Oh.
It's going up and up. And I like the stock. What can I say? I like the stock. Shout out, quick side cut, to our friend Kimberly, who just threw us a $10 super chat. Always appreciate you checking in, Kimberly. Kimberly said desperately need a CHGO Bulls live event. Stay tuned. We got some news coming soon.
Coming soon, baby.
On that very front.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Big Dave, who is your bull market stock rising?
Bull market stock rising is that man.
Hey, man.
Josh Giddey.
Great game.
Giddey,
Great
man.
game last night.
Went into that game with the sole purpose of saying I need to see a game from Josh Giddey, because as I said, man, I saw a game from everybody else that I wanted to see a game from. I saw Modest have a game in the preseason. I've watched Ayo have several games in the preseason. I've seen Lee Patrick have a game in the preseason. These are guys I need to see it happen. I saw Yuki have a game, in the preseason. So I needed to see Josh Giddey because everything's built around him. He is the engine. He is the guy for this team. I need to see it work for him. That's it. Just one game, not every game or whatever, but one game. I'm going to need to see you be that dude. And I saw him be that dude out there in that game yesterday, man, and doing it again against a division opponent that you guys don't like. You know what I mean? The Bulls and the Bucks do not like each other. So him doing it on that level against them was very impressive to me because, again, he's always going to put up those numbers.
Yeah.
He's going to get you 15 points. He's going to get you 6, 7, 8 rebounds. He's going to get you 6, 7, 8 assists. It's about how he does it.
Right.
And how it impacts the game.
Yeah.
And how it impacts the guys around him.
Yeah.
Because he can do those numbers, Matt, and still be a minus 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not be great, for the team out there. No, he's got to make sure he is affecting every aspect of the game out there offensively for the Chicago Bulls, man. I thought he did that.
It's like a chef who works with a lot of the same ingredients every night, and he's going to make a delicious meal.
Yeah.
What does the kitchen look like when he's done?
Like
that's what I think about when I'm talking about Josh Giddey's box score. Like, do we like the way we got there, or do we not like the way we got there?
Is it going to be a 30-minute cleanup or an hour and a half cleanup? Yeah.
Got to clean while you go.
Yeah, baby. Yep. That's how you do it. Clean while you go.
And Go, you also had your thoughts on Giddey when we were talking earlier about what he had to say after today's game. So
I
agree that stock rising.
For sure. He just needs to keep having those games where he's taking care of the ball. I think that's such a big thing for him and something that can really separate him as he kind of tries to take more steps forward in his game. But I went with the other backcourt starter, I believe, right? Did I pick Trey? Yeah.
Trey Jones?
Trey Jones.
I think.
Trey
Joey,
Jones!
I did go Trey.
Who did I pick?
The delay threw me off.
I was waiting for the reveal. Building the suspense.
I like the
Joey
suspense.
likes a little suspense.
Yeah, I like it. But yeah, I mean, Trey is just so quickly gained Billy Donovan's trust. And you can just tell, I mean, the fact that he's playing him with Giddey, I think we talked about the 2-point guard lineups that Billy's going with.
Yeah.
And I just think that there's value in that. It really, to me, it's very counterintuitive that having another non-shooting point guard next to Josh Giddey would work. But I think the way the Bulls play, the style that they're going for, just getting the ball up quickly is more important than that is its own form of floor spacing, right?
Yeah.
Because you're getting defenses off kilter. And I think Trey just continues to play good defense. He continues to put pressure on the rim. He continues to make good decisions. And I think he's just going to be a Billy Donovan favorite for as long as he's on the roster. I mean, the trust there is just really impressive.
He will definitely be Billy Donovan's salve, without a doubt. When things are going wrong and they've got to get it together and let's say they're running as they're doing, it's not working and they got to settle it down that half court, he's going to go to Trey Jones for sure.
And I almost went with Io because you could say all the same stuff about him.
Oh, yeah,
he
without a doubt.
Just the scoring efficiency, he's been awesome this whole preseason. It's great to see him getting back to that level right away coming off the injury. Yeah. But so he's looked great, but I think it's just it's a good problem to have when you have so many different guards that can all put pressure on the rim, that can all, I mean, both he and Trey, I think, are solid defensively. And I would like to see the two of them play a little bit more together.
That too.
Yeah. I mean, you said Billy has so quickly earned Trey Jones' trust. I feel like the same could be said for when he arrived in the trade last season. Trey Jones, Trey Jones is here.
That's what I mean, yeah.
And then, there were a few different reports from different outlets of there was still a window of 72 hours between that Levine trade happening and the actual deadline. Don't get too comfortable, Kevin Huerter and/or Zach Collins and/or Trey Jones. You might be on the move again.
There's a reason those guys were not suited up in their first two games.
And then Trey Jones gets on the floor and Billy's like, "Oh, I love this guy," and it got to the point where Trey Jones started 8 or 9 games for them.
Yeah.
In that stretch of games where they were playing winning basketball.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, let's now shift to the bear market. The bears market. Who's trending down? Look, I don't want to rag on the guy, and I honestly I think he's a respected vet in this league who could find himself a meaningful role somewhere before his career's done, but it doesn't seem to be here in Chicago right now.
Yeah.
Javon Carter played 20 minutes off the bench.
Shout out.
And he even it wasn't just exclusively mop-up minutes.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter.
I think he played first half.
He played first half minutes. Not a ton, but he did play first half minutes. He scored 12 points, but he took 17 shots to get there. And then I feel like every other time down the floor on the defensive side, I saw him just get absolutely cooked by whoever he was guarding.
Yeah.
With an off-ball move, like
Yeah.
he falls asleep on defense so much.
Mm-hmm.
Bless his heart. We're seeing some Javon Carter in these preseason games, and we'll probably see some more tomorrow night and again Thursday, especially if more of these guys are dealing with minor injuries, but the Bulls are going to play it extra safe for that reason. I'm having a hard time right now making Javon Carter fit in Billy Donovan's rotation equation.
Yeah, I think you were the one who pointed out to me when I was, oh man, he's getting his shots up, he's taking shots. You were like, yeah, let's look at the other end of the floor, and I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. And there's you got do it on both sides, and I love Javon Carter, I really do. I always have since college. I've been a fan. Hell, since he was in high school, I've liked Javon Carter, man. But yeah, you're right. I'll agree with you. Where it just doesn't seem to be a fit yet because they're just so jam packed at that position.
Yeah.
That's why he gets to get out there and get these 20 minutes to do his thing. Because during the season, I don't know how it's going to be. Because I remember how it went last year. Billy Donovan had him out there early on, and he was getting his minutes, and then we didn't really see him again as the season went along. And I always credit him for always staying ready. That's why I call him Mr. Stay Ready. Like, he ain't never got to get ready. He always stay ready. So it doesn't deter him, doesn't throw him off. He seems like a great teammate. You can attest to this
for sure
for me. But yeah, he just seems like a great teammate. He was always there for his guys, always the first one cheering them on, always encouraging them. And when his number is called upon, he's going to go out there. And he understands his preseason. So he's like, nope, let me get these shots up. And even when I was trying to crack a joke with you, like, what is he going to get, like 20 shots? He was like, yeah, he took 17 yesterday. I was
20
like,
minutes.
yo, he's getting them up, man. But yeah, I hope it works out here. It just doesn't feel like it's going in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, again, with all of these, I think it's just kind of like, how did they play in the last game or two since we've done this last?
Yeah.
And obviously he got more opportunity, missed some shots, but like, I was glad to see him get more minutes just because it's been hard to come by. And I think it's going to be hard for him to get minutes just with so many guards. I mean, I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
Even though they're going to play multiple guards, I just think it's going to be hard to carve out a role. But he absolutely is like a good vet. I know like a lot of the teammates really look up to him, and he's been a really like steady mentor figure. So,
yeah.
Regardless if he's making missing shots, like that, he is adding that.
It definitely feels that way. So for me, my guy in the bear market,
Yes, sir.
I had to go with Red Velvet on this one, sir. Had to go with the Velveteer.
DNP?
The DNP hurt
Yeah.
for sure. The injury, I'm not saying he's going to lose his job because of injury, but you can go back and look at the game he did play and look at those stats. He was 1 of 7 in that game. He did not play well. He turned the ball over a few times also.
Dribbled way too many times.
Yeah, for sure. And it just didn't help. It's hurting and trending down because we see Lee Patrick trending up. And we see him playing better, you know what I'm saying? And we see Billy using Isaac Okoro more, which is only going to make him more acclimated to what they need from him and what he needs to be doing on the floor. We're seeing Ayo Dosunmu and what he's doing, on the floor. Like, I'm going to have to give him some time. So when you're seeing your competition, and Noah Essengate as well, when you're seeing those guys, I'm not just, friendly competition, but still, you're playing for a position on the floor. When you're seeing those guys playing well in the preseason and you didn't play well in your one game and then you're missing the next couple, we're not sure if you'll be ready for this next game and things like that. That kind of trends you down a little bit because I had him as a starter, in there. So I feel like if that continues on, maybe he's not going to be that starter on opening night. Still has time for sure, but it's definitely, in my opinion, trending down for him.
I think that's fair. Fish saying the red pepper. Yeah, well, we need some of that spicy back in the rotation. Again, play fast, shoot a lot of threes.
Yeah,
like Kevin Huerter, theoretically,
that's his thing.
A great fit for
His
what
jam.
Billy and the Bulls offense is trying to accomplish. Got to get out there. Got to get out there and keep your spot.
Isn't that the idea with Huerter? Is that like there are going to be nights when he's going to put up 17 to 20 points and
for
hit
sure
4 or 5 threes, right?
Yeah.
The good news for the Bulls though is they do have depth, right? Where on nights when Kevin Huerter doesn't have it, those minutes immediately get pulled away. You can go to Trey Jones. Obviously, heavier workload for Ayo, but I sort of feel like Huerter's like once every 3 or 4 games he's going to contribute, and there's going to be some nights where he contributes a lot, but I just don't know if consistency is really on him at this point in his career.
I think he was a consistent part of Billy's trusted rotation in that stretch of winning down for the last month and a half of last season. So feel like you could keep that momentum if you're Kevin Huerter coming into this season. But like, there's just so many names that are all fighting for minutes that can do a lot of what that is. Why we're talking the other day about like, hey, if Okoro can be at least a confident and reliable, make the defense pay attention to you shooter.
Yeah.
Plus his defense is on a higher level than Huerter's defense.
Yeah.
Then maybe Huerter's fighting like hell to, keep that spot. But like, he was down in the dumps at his last season plus in Sacramento.
Yeah,
then he came to Chicago and was like, hey, I'm still this guy.
Yeah.
The very good version of him we saw in his early, Atlanta Hawks years of his career.
Yeah, true.
Who could be one of the best, most lethal shooters in the league. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's fair to say not trending great right now. What about you?
Should we go to overtime and I'll give my...
We'll flash it real quick.
100 miles an hour. If you want that bonus coverage, if you're watching from our various streaming services, just head to allchgo.com for the overtime.
Just real quick on Huerter, though. I mean, I still, like, to me, he hasn't done anything, like, wrong yet.
Right.
To, like, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't have a great first game. Obviously, like, guys will step up. But to me, and the reason why I chose the player I chose, I don't think that anybody else has really like stepped up and threatened him. I still think he's in the same mix that he was. And part of that is because my downward trending player was Okoro. And I think, again, like, I'm not trying to make like pretty much anything out of like a 2-game sample, but since we're doing this, like, I do think it's fair to point out like the last couple of games, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals in the second Cleveland game. That's obviously solid, but only shot 27% from the field. That's not very good. And then in 21 minutes last night, 7 points, made 1 out of his, 4 threes. And
those misses didn't look good.
Yeah, 1 out of 4 threes, 7 points, and a steal and a block. That's pretty much it. 1 rebound, no assists. To me, though, like, why I chose him was less about like the box score and more about the fact that before the game, Billy said that the main guys were going to play a little bit more tonight. He said that they were going to like ramp up the main rotation guys' minutes.
Trigger.
And Okoro played 21 minutes. Patrick played 23. Ayo played 25. So to me, that tells me that those guys were outplaying him.
Yeah.
Again, 1-game sample. I'm not like trying to make too big a deal, but I just think that like this idea of Okoro being like the written in pen starter, I'm not quite there yet.
Right.
I think he's still probably inside track. But I think Huerter's still in there, and I think honestly Ayo should be in there too. Like, he's been playing so well, and I think he also kind of fits what the starting lineup needs.
Yeah.
So I think Okoro, I'm sure will have better games than this. Like, I'm not saying that this is who he is as a player, but I just feel like there's a lot of guys that are still kind of trying to force their name into that mix.
And that's exactly what I was saying about Kevin Huerter. It was, like you said, not necessarily what he did, but that's why I was mentioning guys like Ayo playing well and Lee playing well, and Okoro, getting acclimated more to that, and Essengate getting time out there. That hurts him, you know what I'm saying? Because in a position where nobody is really in pen right now, time on the floor is very important, man. As the great Will Perdue says, your best ability is availability. And he just hasn't been available in these last few preseason games, and we've seen sort of an ascension from guys like Ayo and guys like Lee Patrick Williams.
Our Fish in the chat saying, I agree that Okoro hasn't outproven anybody else in his slot. Yeah. And Brandon Leviscus saying Okoro was a Cleveland outcast. You just described AK's favorite dream. That's the player he's looking for. Doesn't matter from where, he loves himself an outcast. I can fix him.
This is true.
I can make him work beautifully in my 9 to 10 good players. We're one of the deepest teams in the league. Plan. It's a great plan. Great plan, AK. I'm totally on board. But yeah, like, Okoro needs to prove that he can be a more usable offensive piece and not just the define our defensive identity,
which I do think he's doing, by the way. Like, I think he is contributing on that end. I do think he's bringing more physicality. I do think he's taking on the tough assignments. I just meant, like, you have to play both sides of the ball. Like, that's an important, especially in that starting lineup where, like, shooting is something that needs to take place.
I have not been encouraged by what I've seen from Okoro offensively in these 3 games. It's 3 preseason games. I'm going to give him some time.
He deserves it.
But, for all of the C-Red Fred people out there, dude, calm down. Quit hyping this guy up compared to what we've seen.
Isn't the question going to come down to, can he play minutes with Giddey and Modest? At the same, and Kobe,
yeah,
Kobe's gonna be shooting.
Combinations
Modest
are gonna be,
the shooting with Modest, I think, is probably maybe the last step, the evolution of his game. Can you have a floor out there of Giddey, Kobe, Modest, and Okoro? Because maybe Okoro can take on the guy that Modest. We don't want Modest guarding whatever.
the defensive side too.
Right.
It's but that's the trouble of having these players that are not specialists on both sides of the ball. If you have offensive specialist or defensive specialist.
Yeah.
Especially when you have I think that in 2018 or whatever, I was way too hard on Zach LaVine and his defense because he was a young player and he was carrying such a huge burden offensively. I obviously you want your best players to be two-way players and there does need to be a floor there, but I think it's unfair to ask so much of them on the defensive end when their offensive burden is what it is. Okay, you put that aside, but you do need guys that can both complement them on offense and also pick up the slack on defense.
Yeah, true.
And not only be good defenders, but overcompensate by being so good without taking anything off the floor offensively. And I think Okoro can be one of those guys that's making up for Giddey or Kobe or whoever else on the defensive side. He's able to do that. But he's also got to hit shots on the offensive end. Otherwise, you're going to run into trouble on that end too. And now you're going to put in Herter, and he'll give you a lot more offense, but he's going to not be as – so it's you got to find guys that can really play two ways. And that's why I've continued to be a proponent for Ayo Dosunmu.
We'll see. I'm excited to watch 2 more preseason games of Okoro minutes to see if he shows us something different.
Yeah, man.
And tries to find his way into his new teammates and this system. We'll pause the conversation for there for today. 20 minutes and change, and we got CHGO Bears pregame on deck.
Bears!
Monday Night Football.
Bears.
And just another reminder for those who missed the front end of our show, thank you, everybody. We hit that 90K subscribers mark during Joey's CHGO Cubs show earlier today before CHGO Bulls. And by doing so, are unlocking a 24-hour only sale where we're giving all kinds of awesome stuff to everybody.
Amazing.
A $27 for your first year diehard sign-up offer, the lowest we have ever done.
Amazing.
And for you already in the cool club diehards, 50% off all CHGO merch. Half off everything.
Incredible.
For 24 hours only. Shout out and thank you to everybody who helped us get to 90K. Let's keep that climbing. Can't wait to get to 100 and keep it locked right here, CHGO Sports YouTube channel. CHGO Bears pregame at 6 Central, right around the corner. And then, of course, I think are they doing a watch along too? I can't remember. Definitely post game.
Definitely doing post game.
Definitely post game, and then the late night post game, the bricks and the buy bricks.
That's it.
So keep locked
Brick by brick
for all that. Read GOAT stuff, allchgo.com. Become a diehard so you can read all of it, the very best of it. Follow him, Will_Gottlieb. The hair was immaculate today. Big day, bam. BWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Shout out to King of the Controls, the one and only Joey C.
Joey C over there.
Hot Bulls takes.
Hey.
Smart guy.
So past Joey over there.
Have a great night, Bulls Nation. Bear down. We will talk to you tomorrow after Bulls Nuggets. 8 p.m. Central tip. We'll talk to you after. So you'll be good.
Bears.
Peace.
Bears.
We all silly like the mayor.